We're having a fancy breakfast for supper, so I'm making cinnamon rolls. 4 cups of flour, a quarter cup of sugar, half a teaspoon of salt. Mix them up well incorporated. In the meantime, 2 1/4 teaspoons of yeast to activate in half a cup of milk and 3/4 cup of water, warm, not hot, and a couple of tablespoons of sugar to make it activate. Once the yeast is activated, a 1/4 cup of melted butter and 1 egg. Mix them all together. I noticed my yolk did not pop in there. That's okay. It gets taken care of in the mixer, and I just kneaded it on there for a few minutes and then covered it up and let it sit for about half an hour. For the filling, we're taking 6 tablespoons of butter. It needs to be really soft. A 1/4 cup of sugar and about a tablespoon of cinnamon. I noticed that my butter was not soft enough, so I had to go and soften it real quick. There we go. That's nice. We want it nice and soft so we can spread it out on our dough. Now we're going to stretch out our dough to be fairly flat. Not too flat like a pancake, but not too fluffy because we don't want it to be too much bread between the layers of your cinnamon sugar. So yes, spread it out nice and even, and then we're going to give it a tight roll. You see I kind of stretch it as I'm rolling, working up and down the whole log. I basted my pan with butter, and then I cut my cinnamon roll log into about, I guess, 1 to 1.5 inch sections. Keep in mind that these are going to rise just a little bit, not a lot. And then arrange them on the pan to where it just kind of makes sense. And I put the ends face down to make sure that they looked a little bit prettier on the top. I preheated my oven to 350 degrees. I'm going to cover these up and let them sit for 45 minutes on top of the stove. That warmth will help them rise. 35 minutes in the oven, and we had perfect cinnamon rolls. To make the icing, I ended up using 1 cup of powdered sugar, a splash of vanilla, and start with a couple teaspoons of milk and go up from there because I made too much and had to add more sugar. Then just pour it over your hot cinnamon rolls to make sure it melts all evenly, and enjoy.